Hi gorgeous lights, welcome to an energy update. If you are struggling in the physical body right at the moment, you're feeling tired, lethargic, just wanting to shut yourself away from the world and kind of spend some alone time. If you've got tiredness and then wanting to sleep but then waking up in the night, there's an awful lot going on. It's like a spiral upwards to me. And that spiral upwards is kind of like your higher self or soul level information coming in, and almost like the body is really sluggishly responding to processing it, trying to catch up with it. And then what's condensing with that, because it's a massive shift, it's a massive transitional shift, and we're still in the residual energy of the Scorpio moon. It's very, very important that you understand that this was a purge. This is bringing up a lot of childhood stuff and security stuff, a lot of stuff that's actually going on around you that's actually making you kind of deeply investigate and decide what you want to anchor in going forward. It keys on forgiving yourself, it keys on looking at the stuff that's actually surfacing and not getting into an argument with yourself at exactly the same time about the shoulda, coulda, wouldas, or why do I always do this to myself, self-sabotage, victim. There's a lot of stuff that's going on. Now, it can feel, and I've talked to Spirit extensively about this as well, it can feel incredibly frustrating, which is part of what's happening, to go, why do I always have to do the work on myself? Why is it just a constantly having to adjust, nurture, all of those sort of things? There's a lot coming up. There is a lot of stuff that's actually surfacing, and the key is self-care and making sure that you're nurturing that part of yourself while surrendering to processes. And then in the same breath, you can, who you're arguing with is like your 5D self that says, it's fine, it's fine. Now the Scrabble point, and I called it like you're not quite a caterpillar, you're not quite a butterfly, it's like butterfly soup. What you're trying to actually anchor in is overriding the human, very, very human, kind of processing pattern that is connected to survival mode that says I need to control everything, because the flow that comes with 3D living is the law of allowability. It's also about surrendering that need to control. So you have this argumentative part of you saying, well, I need to know what's going on. I don't like the thought of unknown. And so there's a really, really, really huge amount of empathy for people right at the moment that are doing this, and this argument that they've actually got going on, not quite understanding what's actually happening here as well, because in the, if you like, the fifth dimensional energy, which is very much about harmony and flow, it is internal and is not external. The world's just not miraculously going to turn into a bunch of fluffy ducks. What is going to change is your viewpoint. So within, so without. So the way that you see the world, you interact with the world, that is what the five-dimensional shift is about, an internal process. In order to shift into that process, you have to surrender into that process, and your 3D self, which has known everything up to this period of time, right, is literally going, what? What about this? What about that? What about this? What about that? You literally will feel, and I'm not laughing, really, been there, done that, got this t-shirt. It is literally cluttering your entire head, and you can have crises of the faith. You can literally go, well, what's the point? Well, I'm working so hard anyway. What's the point of moving forward? There's no moving forward. I don't trust that things are falling into place. I feel like I'm in this weird limbo. Seriously, been there, done that. And it's really, really important what you're anchoring in is your new harmonized belief structure. And you have to navigate, seriously, you have to navigate through that detritus and debris that's surfacing, and the emotional eddying of all of this, to actually anchor into your faith, your trust, your intuition, the deep, deep part of you that's been layered, literally hidden under all those layers of societal programming, wounding, familial issues, insecurities, viewpoints. Underneath there is you and the beauty of your soul, if that makes sense. Now, it still means that you're infinitely human. I know that I have said to people I feel like a completely different person beyond the decluttering, and I'm anchoring in really healthy boundaries. I'm anchoring in different viewpoints of myself that I'm finding underneath all that that's going on as well. And that's literally the argument that you're having with yourself. That is literally, the more you fight with yourself in this, the tighter the body's getting, because it's already shifting. The tighter you're getting, you can be dizzy, you can be headachy, you can particularly have a lot of, I've had a lot of pressure in from my solar plexus, just as it feels like I'm, kind of taking off one, unzipping and taking off one meat suit and kind of redefining and reassembling the new part of me that actually wants to go forward. So it's really, really important for you to, I kind of want to say, don't listen to your brain too much, and that sounds incredibly rude, but if you get caught up in that, it's kind of like a spiral, and so you got a spiral upwards that we're supposed to be, that we're heading into, and your higher self, your soul aspect is pulling you up. If you're in agreement to this, into a newer perspective, a new you, a new way of looking at things, but there's a counterbalance, which is a downward spiral. If you start listening to the other part of yourself, that actually pulls you downwards into self-sabotage, maybe, judgment, an analytical viewpoint of others, which is only you judging yourself, hardship, timelines, really sick of how much time this is taking. There's that control again. You take all of that away, you're just going to find the control element underneath that says, I want things to go my way, and that's control. Now, if you look at the viewpoint, human perspective at this big, and we want it to go our way, then you're forgetting that in order to surrender to the flow and surrender to accepting everything's panning out in your greater good, and the universe sees things, this wide, then understand that you're fighting against every way that you've turned up right to this period of time, and every experience you've had up to this period of time, and your brain is actually saying to you, this is it, this is the only experiences that we have, this is all that I know, and the universe is like, whoa, hold on a minute, I've got more planned for you if you can widen your perspective, open into the growth of new beginnings, new you, new understanding, receiving what the universe would like to actually bring towards you, and actually settle into a different energy. And everybody has different evolutionary processes to do with this, and this is seriously only my perspective of the way that I'm seeing it, but you do need to be really, really gentle with yourself. And one thing that Spirit kind of said, which is really good, which has helped me kind of anchor in, is acknowledging it. Okay, I'm acknowledging that I've got a tremendous amount of grief in me that I didn't realise how unprocessed it was, and I need to process that. I didn't realise how much I blame myself for things going wrong and thinking that I should have fixed them when I wasn't born with a cape, and I'm not responsible for saving the whole of the world's problems. So, where did that responsibility come from? And I release that attachment to that, understanding I'm only responsible for me, and the way that I deal with myself internally, and then the way that I deal with myself internally shapes my viewpoint of the way that I see the rest of the world, because I'm not seeing it through the judgmental eyes that I might see myself, which makes me judgmental. So there's major, major benefits of stopping fighting with yourself and doing these not over investigations, the why, where did that come from, but a little bit the acknowledgement, and then taking that acknowledging and go, okay, I can choose to be caught up in that maelstrom of all this rubbish that's going through my head, or I can consciously choose to say, this is not everything that I actually came to do. This is not everything that is the sum total of my life. I am not bored with anything. I have a soul contract with myself that says there is more yet to be discovered. So they are asking you to anchor in what you do want to take with you, surrender to letting go of those old fights and old attachments, limiting beliefs that you have of yourself, so you can change your inner viewpoint, which enables you to see a different outer viewpoint. And this is the shift that we're in right at the moment as well. So I would ask you, please, please, please be incredibly gentle with yourself and everyone else around you at this period of time, and anchor in how much you love yourself and appreciate yourself. And I have a collective sigh there, because people absolutely suck at seeing themselves as an incredible, amazing human being that they actually are. And you need to anchor that in. That belongs to 5D energy, that unconditional love of self, that stopping recrimination, perfectionist traits, self-sabotage, victimization, all of those sorts of things that have become a hideous, uncomfortably comfortable habit. And so this is what the energy is asking us to address. So if you can literally override to a degree by acknowledging in the first place, yeah, I do feel like that, but that's not a truth. It's not a truth. It's something maybe I've told myself for a period of time that needs to stop, because I'm absolutely awesome, I'm absolutely amazing, the planet would not be the same without me, and this is what I came to be here for. Anchor in the good stuff and accentuate the good stuff of who you actually are. Don't push it away. You've done it for years. That's why it's so big. You have pushed away that for years without actually eyeballing it and saying, yeah, I do actually feel that way. But it's not actually a truth. I'm going to love that bit of me that believes that, and I'm going to reinforce to myself that the universe is bringing me new, and I open my heart to receiving the new, because I am so deserving of the love of the universe through the love that I give myself. Please look after you, give it a go, and understand that a lot of us are in this process, and the way we can help ourselves through the process is through this nurturing. The energies are slowing down a little bit at the moment, or hyping up for some people, depending on your evolution. But I do know that we've got a little bit of a softer energy starting to come in, thank goodness. But it is still a healing energy, it is still a self-care energy, and you deserve it so much. So take your time. There's new ideas popping up, there's new thresholds, there's feelings of joy coming back, there's rediscovery. It's getting slowly better. Rome wasn't built in a day, so stop thinking that you have to fix yourself in 5 minutes. Take care of you. Keep shining.